The video game industry has always been in a constant state of evolution. What started with Space War back in 1962 has now become a medium capable of delivering fully fledged cinematic experiences in 4K, with award-winning soundtracks, motion capture, and hours of gripping narrative. Today, some titles rival even the most impressive films, not just graphically, but in emotional impact. As technology evolved, the possibilities of what could be created expanded dramatically. Once freed from the constraints of 8-bit graphics, developers became more ambitious, and they began to pursue their own creative directions and identities. While Western developers have undoubtedly released some incredible titles, there's just something different about games developed in Japan. I'm Kat from Friendly Fire, and I'm here to explain why. Let's get into it. Starting with Nintendo, arguably one of the most innovative companies, their intent was never to create simulations of reality, but to instead prove that a video game should first and foremost feel like a video game. This philosophy can be traced back to Nintendo's origin as a toy and playing card company, where the goal was simply to encourage play. Fast forward to the development of Mario and other titles, where they instilled the idea that these experiences should be shared, rather than enjoyed alone. However, beyond Nintendo, Japanese developers have always pushed the boundaries when it comes to their games, often prioritising creativity over realism. They aren't afraid to bend the rules, exaggerate characters, or introduce absurd elements just for fun. But that almost surreal strangeness is what makes their games feel so alive. One of the strongest examples of this is the Persona series, a game that masterfully blends the mundane of the everyday life with the magical. But this creativity has never been limited to a singular series. It undeniably permeates the industry. The Legend of Zelda series will forever remain a monumental piece of gaming history. From its first release, it taught players to get lost, explore, die, and learn. It placed players in a hostile environment with limited guidance and a lack of handholding. And if that sounds familiar, well, that's because it laid the groundwork for what would later become the Souls games. Progress was earned through exploration and experimentation, and the only chances to level up were finding heart charms, armor sets, and eventually the Master Sword. With prioritization of building the world, it practically invites exploration of every corner of Hyrule. It's vital for any gamer to play these games, along with the rest of the games that appear in this video. Grasshopper Manufacture's No More Heroes is a series that thrives in its audacious nature and unpredictability. Its chaotic combat, stylized visuals, and absurd and often extreme humor defy the conventional rules of action RPGs. The game consistently breaks the fourth wall and is very aware of its existence as a video game. The boss battles feature unique mechanics, tonal shifts appear without warning, and eccentric characters and side quests all combine to create an experience that feels as wild as it is meticulously designed. FromSoftware, however, have revolutionized action RPGs in a whole new direction. With titles like Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Elden Ring, and Bloodborne, the studio took the term challenging to a whole new level. When Demon Souls was first released, it presented a level of difficulty that was unprecedented in mainstream gaming. With little to minimal guidance, unforgiving combat, and a deep emphasis on exploration, many players gave up, frustrated by the steep learning curve and lack of handholding. But the difficulty was intentional, and has since become highly praised among fans of FromSoft titles. The cryptic world-building, dialogue, and narrative are all proof that Japanese developers are more than willing to take risks when bringing their ideas to life. RGG Studio's Yakuza is yet another Japanese-developed game series that flourishes from the contrast within its narrative. At its core is a grounded, often emotional crime drama, which tackles themes of loyalty, honour, and loss. Yet, amongst all of the solemnity, there is an absolute absurdity. Karaoke battles, men in nappies, dance-offs, and side quests become absolute carnage. RGG's ability to seamlessly blend sincerity and insanity once again proves that games don't have to be serious to be a masterpiece. Capcom's Resident Evil, meanwhile, defined an entirely different genre that would later become known as survival horror and would inspire many other games. The RE franchise is a perfect medley of action, horror, and puzzle solving, and the series has introduced characters that have gone on to become the face of the genre and absolutely legendary in gaming history. From the terror-inducing fixed camera angles to the revolutionary remakes in recent entries, there is no doubt that Resident Evil is a staple within horror games. And with Resident Evil Requiem on the horizon, it will be interesting to see how Capcom further expand the universe. Continuing with horror, but this time focusing on the subgenre of psychological horror, Konami's Silent Hill pushed the boundaries of what was expected in the medium of video games. Like Resident Evil, the original Silent Hill used the same fixed camera angles to further increase the sense of unease established the moment the game was booted up. While it wasn't as action-focused as RE, it was 10 times more terrifying, prioritising tension-ridden atmosphere and oppressive environments. The game was challenging both intellectually and emotionally, and it created a series that became more than memorable to the players daring to enter Silent Hill. Now the thing is, Japanese games often feel better to play because their design is rarely dictated by monetization-first structures. In contrast, many modern Western titles, particularly free-to-play shooters and live service games, are built around retention systems, battle passes, daily challenges, and progression loops that are specifically designed to keep players engaged rather than feeling deeply satisfied. Movement, gunplay, and abilities are frequently similar across these titles, and it leads to them feeling diluted and overly standardized. Japanese developers, on the other hand, tend to prioritize authored experiences over endless scalability. Combat systems are crafted with the deliberate weight, timing, and expression in mind, whether it's the tight lock-on duels from a FromSoftware game or the exaggerated stylish combat of an action title. Rather than asking how long a player will stay for, these games ask how memorable each moment feels, and how long it will stay with the player. That focus on immediacy, responsiveness, and mechanical identity creates experiences that feel complete, intentional, and rewarding without relying on external incentives to remain engaging. However, despite the obvious creativity that flows from these games and the developers that made them, none of this diminishes the achievements of Western developers. Games like GTA 5, KCD2, Uncharted, Last of Us, Dead Space, there's so many I can name, represent monumental moments for the video game industry. However, the clear distinction between Eastern and Western developers is not the lack of imagination, but where that imagination is allowed to surface. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like more breakdown videos like this, be sure to like and subscribe and switch on notifications.